Alexis Nunes here with Rob Dawson. The transfer window is open, Rob, and we know that there's a ton of rumors that I have to pick your brain on, but few of them get bigger than the one. Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. You, of course, are one of our Manchester Kings, so tell me what's the latest in this one, because we're seeing some hearsay talk here and there on social media, but I know to come to the source, which is you. So what's the latest there?
Well, with Jadon Sancho to Manchester United, there are a lot of pieces already in place. We're led to believe that Sancho would like to move to United, that United are very, very keen to sign him, and that Borussia Dortmund are open to selling him. Obviously, three key things that are needed in any transfer. The difficulty at the moment is the fee. There's going to have to be significant compromise between Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United to agree a fee that suits everyone. Once that's done, and if that's possible, it's one that we expect to happen this summer.
Well, we know that, of course, Man United do have to make a couple of signings. A lot of people would like to see them make signings probably in the defensive area. But do you get the feeling that Sancho is a signing that United will just pull whatever strings possible to make happen?
Not whatever possible, because obviously we're dealing in a post-coronavirus transfer window. I think in transfer windows gone by, it may be one that United would have just splashed the cash and brought him in at any price. I don't think that's the case anymore. That's why this compromise over the fee is so important. You know, United are very keen to keep a lid on their transfer budget this year because they don't know how coronavirus has affected their finances. So, you know, Borussia Dortmund value Jadon Sancho around 130 million euros. United's valuation is lower than that. There is a bit of a gap to be bridged. You know, obviously with these things, there is always compromise, and we expect that to happen. You know, maybe United can find a compromise in a basic fee with a lot of add-ons that are achievable to kind of make it up to closer to Borussia Dortmund's valuation. So, you know, it's not one that United are going to just throw everything at, because, you know, they're conscious, like every other club in Europe, that you know, finances have been affected by coronavirus. But that said, you know, I expect that one to be completed at some stage this summer.
And then speaking of Manchester United, they have also been linked with Aston Villa's wonder boy in Jack Grealish, who I know you know very well. We spoke to Stevie Nicol just at the end of the Premier League matches at the weekend, and he said that this is one that he's quite iffy about because Grealish is a Villa boy through, and Villa know that. So, which is probably why they're attaching a pretty hefty price tag to him. So what's the latest there and the possibilities of this happening?
Well, from United's point of view, there is genuine interest in Jack Grealish. It's been driven specifically by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a huge fan of Jack Grealish. There was an inquiry made in January before they signed Bruno Fernandes, so that tells you how serious they are about Jack Grealish. The difficulty now, from United's point of view, is that Aston Villa are still a Premier League team. You know, it perhaps would have been easier to sign Jack if Villa had gone down and they were looking to sell. You've mentioned there that Jack is an Aston Villa boy. It's his boyhood club. He's not about to force a move out of Aston Villa, but that said, he is very ambitious. You know, he wants to play for England. He wants to play in the Champions League for a top 4, top 6 club. You know, he spends a lot of time in Manchester anyway. He likes being there. He would be open to a move to Manchester United, but again, you know, there are difficulties there around the fee. You've mentioned there that Aston Villa value him at around 80 million, and you know, they're well within their rights to do that. United probably aren't going to pay 80 million for Jack Grealish. And again, if that deal is going to get done, there's going to have to be significant compromise over the fee.
On the other side of Manchester now too, where we know they're definitely not short of coin, coronavirus pandemic, or not Manchester City now, where it is that they're eyeing up a Valencia youngster, 20-year-old Ferran Torres. What can you tell us about him, and what's the likelihood of that one happening?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly among Manchester City's top targets this summer. He is available from Valencia. The fee that we're told is around £40 million, which seems perhaps steep for a player that maybe not many City fans have seen that much, but he is very, very highly rated in Spain. You know, we've seen Leroy Sané move to Bayern Munich, so there is a slot there in the City squad for Pep Guardiola to strengthen. You know, we've seen how he's managed to get the best out of young players in the past, and Ferran Torres is one that he is looking at. Again, you know, there perhaps maybe has to be a little bit of compromise over that fee. You know, you mentioned there about City's wealth, and you know, that is true. But again, you know, we are dealing in a post-coronavirus transfer window. So again, one of those where there are lots of pieces of the puzzle in place. We're led to believe that he would like to move to City. City like him. Valencia are open to letting him go. So you know, one that we expect to happen, but you know, it has to get over the line first.
All right, well, let's venture now down to London, a place where you find too warm to live for you up in the north. Chelsea now. Chelsea absolutely have been making waves in the transfer window, you know, given from who they've signed already. And of course, now they're linked with Kai Havertz. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned it there. Chelsea have made a very, very strong start to the transfer window. You know, obviously making use of the fact that that transfer ban that affected them last summer has now been lifted. You know, Kai Havertz is a player who is very, very highly rated. You know, Chelsea have been interested for a while. I know Frank Lampard has been reluctant to say anything specifically about Kai Havertz in the press when he's been asked directly. Things have changed a little bit for Chelsea now. They know that they will be in the Champions League next season. Obviously, that was a big thing for Frank Lampard and Chelsea. We're led to believe that those negotiations are pushing ahead now that Chelsea know they'll be in the Champions League next season. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen will not be in the Champions League. Kai Havertz is very ambitious. Again, another one of those players who wants to play at the top level. The Champions League is that level. You know, he's already seen Timo Werner sign for Chelsea. Again, you know, if that deal can be done, I'm sure that Chelsea will do it. There will be other clubs interested in him because he is that highly rated. But at the moment, we're led to believe that Chelsea are the front runners in that particular chase.
And then now speaking about Arsenal, because I think both of us definitely had a close eye on the FA Cup semi-final between City and Arsenal. I, of course, was there. You, of course, cover Manchester City. And I just kept saying Arsenal have to hang on to Aubameyang at all costs if they want to just not have as much of a turbulent season as they have had this year. But now he must be tempted by other offers. What's the latest there, Rob? And can Arsenal hang on to this talisman?
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation that we've seen with Arsenal time and time again, where their key players are allowed to get into the final years of their contract. And then the speculation begins to swirl about other clubs, about possible free transfers, you know, later down the line. Arsenal often have been forced to sell for a lower price before that contract expires. You know, we've seen it with the likes of Robin van Persie, you know, Samir Nasri in the past. You know, this isn't a new situation for Arsenal, but you know, I agree that if Arsenal really want to push on and get to that next level of the rebuild under Mikel Arteta, he is a player that they have to tie down to a new contract. You know, there aren't many guaranteed 20-goal Premier League strikers. You know, it's very, very hard to find, and Aubameyang has proved that he is one of those. You know, he would be well within his rights to look around about whether there's other interest. You know, you've mentioned it there. They won't be in the Champions League next year. He may feel that he is a Champions League level striker and he wants to go and play in the Champions League, and you wouldn't be able to blame him. But I think from Arsenal's point of view, that is it's a key summer signing, really. You know, Arsenal fans will want to see about the new players who are perhaps coming in. But I think the most important thing that Arsenal can do this summer is to tie him down to a new contract.
And finally, now, this is probably the most difficult question of them all, because it's the curious case of Gareth Bale. Such a shame that some people would say to see him, quote unquote, wasting away at Real Madrid. He has been linked with moves back to the Premier League, whether it's back to Spurs, where I'm sure they could welcome him with open arms. Who knows if Jose Mourinho does that thing these kind of days. Or we're hearing he's linked with Newcastle. Of course, we know there's an imminent takeover expected at Newcastle, which could see them probably spending some big bucks. So, Rob, what do you think should happen here?
Yeah, well, the link with Spurs and particularly Jose Mourinho is down to the fact that Jose Mourinho wanted to sign Gareth Bale when he was in charge of Man United. So Gareth Bale is a player that he likes very much. The Newcastle thing is a little bit more complicated, given that probably wouldn't happen at all if that takeover doesn't go through. You know, everyone in Newcastle is waiting with bated breath to see if this Newcastle takeover goes through. You know, that said, the things that we're hearing from Gareth Bale's representatives is that he has no intention of leaving Real Madrid. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He likes living in Madrid. You know, his goal, we're led to believe, is to knuckle down, train hard, and get back into Real Madrid's plans. You know, we've talked about the effect that coronavirus may have on the transfer market, and you know, Gareth Bale may be one of those who benefits from that. You know, it may be that Real Madrid don't have an awful lot of money to go out and spend in the summer, and they're left with the core group of players who they've already got at the Bernabeu. And you know, obviously Gareth Bale is not Zinedine Zidane's favourite player. We can see that by the way that he selects his team. But if Real Madrid don't sign any more players, then there is a chance for Gareth Bale to force his way back into that team. You know, Gareth Bale's talent is not in question. He's performed occasionally magnificently for Real Madrid. And, you know, you would never bet against him forcing his way back into that team. I think a move away this summer is quite unlikely at this point.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.